Hello guys, greetings to everyone and welcome to Ngando Graphics. So in this video I'll be showing you how to design a church flyer using just the Pixellab application. So straight away let's move into our Pixellab application. So the first thing we'll be doing is to delete this text. So once that is done, we'll need to click on the three dots, image size, and we'll set our canvas to 1024 by 1280. Okay, so once that is done, we are going to change the color of our background. So we'll change the color of our background to blue. Okay, so let me show you the color code of this blue color. So the color code is #0D47A1. So that is the color code which is being used here. So now we'll be importing images which we'll be using for the background. Okay, so this is the first image. So once it's in, we'll need to come to relative size. We ensure that the width and the height is being set to 100%. So once that is done, we click on the check mark. Okay, and we'll be reducing the opacity of this image. Reduce the opacity to 67%. And once that is done, we'll come to color filters and we are going to set the hue to -18. -18 and our saturation to 9. Our saturation to 9. Okay, sorry, 9. So once that is done, we'll open our layers and we ensure that this is being closed. So we'll be importing. Okay, we'll move to our draw tool first. We ensure that the brush and the pencil size is set to 80, which is the highest, and the blur radius is set to 25. So we tap on the screen, click on the check mark, and we are going to increase the size of this. So we'll change the color of this to white, and we are going to reduce the opacity to 48%. So I'm going to show you the reason why I'm using this light effect. So once that is done, I'm going to close the layers. Again, I'm going to bring in another image. So once the image is in, we'll come to relative size. We ensure again that the height and the width is set to 100%. And we'll also reduce the opacity of this to 65%. We click on the check mark and ensure that the layer is being closed. So let me show you the reason why I added this light effect. See, without the light effect, this is what we get. And if the light effect is on, this is what we'll get. So that is why I added the light effect. So now we'll be importing again another image for the background since it's a fasting and prayer program. So I'm going to increase the size a little. So I'm going to reduce the opacity of this now to 10 to ensure that it blends with the background. So we'll set it to 10. Okay, so we'll come now to color filters. We'll work on the image so that it blends properly with the background. So we'll be setting our saturation to -81. -81, and we'll be setting the brightness to -30. -30. Okay, so once that is done, we click on the check mark. So you see it is not like it's not really blending here at the edge. We can see that it's something which has been added. So we are going to work on that. We ensure that this is highlighted, selected, and then we move now to eraser. We move to eraser to ensure that the hardness is increased a little, and we set the blur part right to the end. So I'll increase the handle. I'm just going to wipe up portions of this so that it blends now with the background. Okay, I'm going to show you. So you see we cannot really see the edge of this design again. So that is the effect. So we close this and now we'll be adding our text. So we have Cameroon Baptist Convention. Okay, we change this to capital letters. The size of this is 18. And the font we'll be using is Creator Display. Creator Display Medium. And once that is done, we'll be increasing the spacing to 12. So set the spacing to 12. Okay. And we are going to move it there. So relative position, we ensure that it's at the center, and we also close it. So I'm going to replicate this, copy this, and I'll edit this to change the text we have. Okay, so also change this to capital letters. It's the same font, so we'll be reducing now the spacing of this. So the spacing of this now we'll set it to 2, and we'll reduce now the size to 14. Let's see, size to 14. Okay, so just move it and place it here. Let's see the spacing again. Let's see -2, what we have. And let's see this. Okay, so we'll set the spacing to -2, and we'll set now the line spacing to -1. So we are going to use the position tool to move it closer to this. And once that is done, we are going to close the layers tool. Okay, so the next thing now is we'll be writing the theme, which we have. The first word we have divine. Okay, we change it to capital letters. So the font we'll be using here is called the Amazon. You can get it from 1001 font or dafont.com. So we have the Amazon font. You check on the description, I'm going to make it available. So the size we'll be using here is 105. Okay, 105. And we'll be increasing the spacing to 2. Okay, so once that is done, I'm going to make sure relative position is at the center, and I'm going to copy this or change the word to supply, change it to capital letters, and place it here. Ensure it's at the center. So for this one, the text, the size is 108. 108. So I'm going to move this closer. So I'll be importing another image which I'll be using as which I downloaded. So once it's in, we'll need to click on erase color. So we increase the tolerance so that we reduce this white portion on it, and we just reduce the size. So we are going to rotate it to -6. Okay, -6. So the word we have is activating. So we are going to have our activating. We change it to capital letters, and the font we're using here is the same Creator, but the Creator Display Bold. So we have Creator. It's a font family similar to Montserrat. It also has different typefaces. So we have the black. I'm going to reduce the size to 21 and the spacing to -4. So the size is 21. I'll reduce the spacing to -4, and we'll place it here, and let's also rotate it. Rotate. So increase the size of this a little. Let's ensure that this fits properly. Okay, We'll still increase the size. Okay. So let's move it down. Let's move it. Oops. Let's undo. Let's bring it to the front and we position it properly. So this has to fit inside. Okay, so we we have activating divine supply. So now we'll be importing another image, the image of a dove, which signifies the Holy Spirit. We are talking of divine supply. So the dove signifies divine. So we have okay, so we'll be importing the dove. We have this. So I'm just going to crop out this and I'll reduce the size. Okay, you check under the description. I'm going to make available the image. So I'm going to place it here. Okay, so the next thing, I'm just going to bring the image to make sure I'm doing the right thing. Okay, so we have, now I'll be bringing in the images. We have the theme, so the text theme. We have theme, change it to capital letters, and the size we'll be using here. Let's reduce the size to 14, and the font we'll be using is Creator. Creator medium, and we'll increase the spacing to 21. Let's move it here and let's bring it down. Position, let's bring it down. So once that is done, I'll be bringing in now the images. Okay, so we have this import. We have so I'm going to crop this. Crop. Okay, so we are going to come to erase color because of the black which we see there. So we'll come to this eyedropper because by default Pixellab erases the white, any white color. So we'll click on this eyedropper. I will move it to the black color. Okay, so we click on the check mark. You see it has removed the black. So increase the tolerance. And we'll come now to erase color. You see, we can see some shades of black color. Increase the blur part. And let's wipe this portion. Okay. So I'm going to increase the size of this image. I'll place it here. Now use the eraser tool to wipe it, some portions of it. Increase the blur part so that it blends to the background. So we have this. Click on the check mark, reduce the size, let's crop it. Okay, so place it here. I'll bring in now the other image. So you see the way the image is, it's not even the best, but part of it is cut. So reduce this we increase the size of this. We make sure that we bring it behind this one, and let's come again to our eraser tool. We ensure that the blur part is increased, and we increase this part. We brush up this part so that it blends, and even at the edge you brush up this. Okay. Okay, so we'll be bringing in again the other image. So the next image we have here, see the image is not the best, so I'm just going to crop this. Crop. So we'll move it behind this. We'll crop again. Let's close this one. Now we'll place it here. So once that is done, I'll also need to work on this. So come out to eraser. We increase the blur part and the hardness a little. So we're going to brush up so that it blends. Let me see. Okay, so we'll do it again. So once that is done, okay, so it's okay. We are going to close now the layer. So I'm going to edit this. The image is blurred. So we'll be working on it. We'll set the saturation to 11. So let's come to color filter. Saturation to 11. And then our brightness to -3. Okay, see you've changed the way it looks. So even this one will come now to saturation, increase it to 4, and our brightness to 5. Okay, so once that is done, I'll be bringing in my turn paper, my tear paper. So I'll be bringing in my tear paper. So I'm going to bring it. So I click on the check mark, come to relative size. Okay, ensure that it's set to both 100%, both the height and the width. I'm going to close it. So I'm going to highlight now these images on including the theme. I'll move it up. Okay, so now the theme itself, I'll move the text up. So move the text and we'll place it here. So let me close this image. Okay, so I'm just going to move this again to the side. Okay, so once that is done, I'm going to write another text. We have 3 days, 3 days. Okay, so the text, the font I'll be using here, we have for the 3, I'll be using Creator, the Creator display black, and for the days I'll be using the Creator display black italic for the 3, and the days I'll be using Creator display bold italics. Okay, so I'll reduce now the size. size to 30. I'll place it here. And for another text, we have fasting and prayers. We have fasting and prayers. So the font again is still creator display. Remember, we're not supposed to use more than 3 fonts. So we have creator display, we'll use the medium and we'll reduce the size. Alignment is center alignment, and we'll reduce now the line spacing. So the font now is, let's reduce the size to 18. Let's see if it's at 18. So the size is 18. I will reduce now this line spacing. So we'll place it here. Let me check to see if the same font I used. Okay, so it's the italic font. So creator display medium italic. Creator display medium italics. We have creator display medium italics. Okay, so this is a font. So we are just going to move it, position it again closer to this one. So once that is done, I'm going to move the text together this way. Okay. So, and the next thing I did here is I came to the brush tool. I'll reduce the pencil size. Okay, I added something, pencil size. We'll just mark something here, and also here. Okay, so we'll be changing the color to white. Change the color to white. We'll change the color to white. Okay, so the size is too much. Let's redo it. So the pen size, let's set it to 2. We'll change the color of the pen to white, and let's do it again. Okay, so this is okay, and we'll close this layer. So I'm going to highlight all the text. We have the 3 days fasting, we have the theme, we have the dove activating supply, divine supply, and we ensure that it's at the center. Okay, so this is it. So we'll bring it down again. Let's bring it down. I'll bring now this effect down. Okay, we'll just listen like that. So once that is done, we'll be writing now our text. We'll take a shape first, we'll reduce the size, we increase the length, we'll change the color to black. Let's reduce it again, increase the size, and relative position is center. So you're just going to move this. So we'll move this here, and we'll be adding a text now, a shape. So the color will change the color to this gradient color of red. So the colors we have here, we have, let me show you the color code. We have hash 970E16 for the darker color, okay, and the lighter red, shade of red, we have hash C22920, okay, so that is a color code. So we are going to move this closer, and we'll copy this. I think it's too big, so let's move it. We'll make a copy of this. So we'll change now the color. We'll change the color to the same blue we use for the background, and we'll copy this again. We'll reduce the size. So we are just going to place it here. Let's move it. I'll make a copy again. Position 2. Okay, so place it here. Okay, so leave it that way. So highlight both all the shapes and ensure that it's at the center. Relative position is at the center. And once that is done, we'll start inputting our text. So for this, we have the time. The another text, the first text, we have time, which is this. We change it to capital letters. So the font again, we'll be using the creator. So remember, so far we've been working with two fonts. So we have creator display medium. I'll reduce the size so that it fits on this shape. I think 18 is okay. So let's bring it down. Position, let's bring it down. Or we increase the spacing. Let's increase the spacing. Okay. So we'll reduce the size again. So we'll make a copy of this and we'll change it to venue, text to venue. Capital letters. So we'll bring the text down. So let's use a grid line to see if these two are aligned. No. So we'll select this and this and we'll bring it. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so it's okay now. So the next thing we'll be doing now, we'll write our time. We have the time is 4:30 p.m. daily. We have 4:30 p.m. daily. We'll change it to capital letters. So the font we'll be using here is Akira expanded. So reduce the size to 21. I'll place it here. So copy this. The venue we have, we edit the text to church. Sorry. So edit this. We have church auditorium. Change it to capital letters, okay, and we align it to the center alignment, and we are going to reduce the line spacing. Okay, so -2 is okay. So we are going to position it well. So once that is done, now we'll be writing the date. So we'll copy this text again. We have date, we have Thursday, we have 27th to Sunday, 29th. Okay, so we'll change it to capital letters and we'll place it here. So we're going to increase the size of this a little. Let's say 22. So we are going to copy this again and we'll write July 2022. We have July 2023. So we are going to increase the size of this. So we'll bring this down. So I think let's increase this a little. Okay, so it's okay like this. We'll position it. So once that is done, I'll be adding, we'll replicate this. I think this is two. Okay, so we're going to make a copy of this. We'll copy. So we'll just increase the length. And we are going to make sure that it's at the center. We'll increase the length. So we'll place it here. And we have for more info, let's just copy this text. We have for more info, contact 673 36 5992. Okay, so we're going to change the text to black, but we are going to reduce the shade of black not to be too bright. Bring it here. Okay, so we are going to move it now. The position tool will move it and we ensure that it's at the center. Let's say position is at the center. Same with these other lines. We'll use the same shade of black we used. Okay, so with the other one, the same shade of black. So ensure that it's at the center. Okay. The line is so much. So once that is done, we'll be adding now the names. Let me bring in the image to see if I've forgotten something. Okay, so we have the names of the speakers. So we have Evangelist Theodore, capital letters. So we'll bring this other text down. We'll reduce the size to 10. I'll leave it at 14. So we'll move now to font. We're using the creator display medium and alignment center. Spacing, line spacing, we'll reduce the line spacing. Okay, so we're going to reduce the size again. Let's leave it at 12. So we'll use a position tool to position it. So we'll copy this. We'll change the text we have pastor. Change it to capital letters. So bring this other text down, move it here. We copy. We have change it to capital letters. Sorry, to capital letters. So once we change it to capital letters, we'll just bring it here. The text, will reduce it, the size. Let's see. Reduce this to 11. Reduce this to 11. So we'll be adding now a shape, a triangle. We'll reduce the size. Let's say it needs to be small. So we'll come now to rotate. We are going to rotate it now to minus 180 and we'll bring it down with our position tool. So reduce the size of this. Okay, so it's okay. We'll place it here. We'll make a copy of this again. We'll use our position tool to bring it down. We'll copy again and so we'll bring it down with our position tool. We'll bring it down. Okay, so once that is done, so you see how we've achieved this design just with the Pixel application. So like I said, I'm going to make available all the resources which I use for this design under the description. So you check under resources used, you are going to see everything which I used.